previous episode. So my third podcast episode was all about dolls, specifically dolls made by Mattel. So that includes Barbie and Monster High primarily for myself, just because those are the kind of main focuses that I am interested in from Mattel as a brand. However, there are other dolls, obviously, that are out there that are not made by Mattel that I'm interested in, specifically MGA. So today I'm going to be talking primarily about MGA. I might go into some other dolls, some other themes afterwards, but I'm going to go mainly into MGA. So MGA is a smaller company than Mattel. I believe that it's owned in a different way. I'm not really sure how all these companies work, but essentially MGA is a smaller brand than Mattel is, and they're known most famously, in my opinion, for Bratz. So today I'll be talking about Bratz, and then I'll also be discussing a little bit Lala Loopsy dolls. I will also talk about Rainbow High, and I'm going to talk about Novi Stars at the end. I don't even know if Novi Stars are from MGA. I just feel like talking about Novi Stars a little bit. Random, let's get into it. So let's talk about Bratz. I had only one Bratz doll growing up. She was a gift from my grandma, and it was Dynamite Megan. I actually repurchased her years later on Facebook Marketplace. I have a video about that up on my channel if you're interested in seeing me purchase that doll and like opening her up, and it was so exciting to see her again because every aspect of that doll is so familiar to me. The tint of her sunglasses with the slight green tinge, the silver metallic frames, the pleather outfit. I feel like it's so iconic. I would totally wear that outfit. The shade of her hair, the shade of her lipstick, the bluey eyeshadow that she's got going on, every single facet of Megan. Oh my gosh. Megan kind of has like red hair, and like I don't know if you're watching or if you're just listening, but I have red hair right now. I'm totally in my Megan era. Slay. Anyway, the moral of the story is that I only had this one Bratz doll growing up, and I wanted more, but my parents wouldn't buy more for me. Not because they were haters, but just because I had enough other toys. I had a lot of, Littlest Pet Shops and other stuff growing up, so they didn't want to buy me Bratz dolls, which was fine. But that meant that I would go into the shops when we were, where I was growing up, we only really had one shop to buy these kind of things. It was a Big W. It was in one like complex. It was like a Big W, Woolworth. They were connected, and that was the entire shops. And I always wanted my parents to please buy me the Bratz dolls that I was seeing in Big W, and they would always say no. I remember most, like, obviously in my mind is Flower Girl's Yasmin. Oh my goodness, I wanted these Flower Girls so much because I just wanted the little like doll with the little watering can. I thought it was such a cute concept. These dolls came with seeds that you would plant, and then there was a watering can. The gimmick was that you'd like water the seeds and grow your own little plant, as well as having like a cute flower themed doll to match. And Yasmin was my favorite character as a child, so the obvious choice would have been Yasmin. But honestly, from that line, the Sasha's really pretty, the Chloe's really pretty, the Jade is really pretty. Like, it's a really pretty line all through and through. However, I don't know, something about Yasmin, she's my favorite in that line. So I also bought Yasmin on Facebook Marketplace or from a Facebook Bratz group later on in life, and I also have a video about that up on my channel. But yeah, those were like my childhood like adult Bratz that I was most interested in, because that was the one I had and that was the one I wanted, you know what I mean? But the main way that I would actually play Bratz was through my friends, because my sister also only had one Bratz doll because my grandma gifted us each a doll. I had that Megan doll that I was talking about, the Dynamite Megan. And then she had a Phoebe, and it was kind of like a weird Phoebe, I'm not gonna lie. It was a Phoebe with like painted black legs that were like intended to be her stockings. She had like a green theme to her outfit, polka dots on black. It's kind of a bit of a funkier Phoebe. And in hindsight, it's like a bit random that she was like the only doll that my sister had, because she's kind of a more like, I don't know, out there design, compared to some of the other Bratz that were coming out at the time that were a lot more like classic. I'm not sure why my grandma, this isn't in a bad way, like obviously these were our Bratz dolls and we loved them, but I'm not sure why my grandma chose each of those dolls for each of us. Did she think like, oh, Emily will really suit this doll, my sister will really suit this doll, or did she just like randomly pick up two Bratz that were at the shops? I don't really know, but this was destiny, you know, these were the Bratz dolls we got. Anyway, so the main way we would play with Bratz was through other kids. So my best friend, she had a bunch of Bratz. I remember most exciting from her Bratz collection was the babysitter set. She had the set where it was like, I can't remember their names. I want to say Liana was maybe one of the Bratz names from the babysitter set. But if you just search up Bratz babysitter, essentially it was a adult Bratz doll and a Bratz babies doll together in a set, and they were like babysitting each other, or they may have been sisters, but I feel like they were babysitters. Anyway, I loved that set. That was such a cute theme, really cute line. And of course, I loved Bratz babies. You might not know this if you haven't watched all my doll videos before, but I am a huge fan of Bratz babies. I may even like them more than Bratz themselves. I just love how cute and small they are. Something about them is like so lovely. Oh my goodness, actually I remember my sister had one Bratz baby gifted to her. She had this like hairdresser Chloe that she was gifted I think for her birthday, and I was so jealous of her because this Chloe had like really long blonde hair, and it came with this like hair dyeing attachment, and we would pretend to straighten the Chloe's hair, and we loved this little like tool that was like meant to do hair. We'd pretend to do our own hair, we'd pretend to do the doll's hair, we'd pretend to do each other's hair. Like we were loving this like one little tool that came with the Chloe doll. The Chloe doll herself, this little Bratz baby's Chloe, was beautiful. She had a really like she might have even been a Vanessa now that I'm thinking about it, because she was quite tan. She was tan, she had pink lips, she had blonde hair, she was just so gorgeous. I've always been such a huge fan of Bratz babies. I just think they're adorable. One of our other friends, she had a bunch of Bratz babies. She literally had Hair Flare Yasmin, who was my favorite because she was just like a pretty princess. She had a crown, she had long hair. Her hair color, I think, just is the most beautiful hair color. Like when I think of like my dream hair color, I think of Bratz baby's Hair Flare Yasmin. Like when I was like having my natural hair color and I was balayaging it, that was what my goal was. Like I was trying to go for like Hair Flare Yasmin because that doll is so pretty. I loved her face, and also her tank top that she has is so gorgeous. I wanted to recreate her outfit and wear it so badly, which in hindsight is like not a very appropriate outfit. It's probably a bit revealing. So no one was helping me make this outfit. I tried to get my parents and recruit them into helping me screen print this Yasmin tank top. I really wanted to make a like yellow strap black tank top with the frog logo that she has on the shirt, and no one was helping me. And I really wanted the polka dotted like underwear skirt diaper thing that she was wearing with it as well. Where was I going to wear this to? Like I was of an age where you're not walking around in a diaper with a tutu attached, but I just thought it was like the best outfit ever. I thought this was the peak of fashion. How could anyone come up with such a genius concept as the outfits that the Bratz babies were wearing? And I wanted to wear that all the time. You know, honestly, I could make those outfits now and wear them as underwear. Well, the undies I would wear as underwear, and I would wear the tops that they came with as tank tops. I would love to have, even to this day, I'd love to have the little t-shirts that the Bratz OG babies come with. I would love those as just like normal t-shirts. I'd want them all though, and it'd be hard to like make them, I'm sure, but I don't know, I just think that'd be really cute. Someone should come out with those. Someone should come out with the Bratz babies outfits to wear, because I would buy those and wear those. They're so cute. But yeah, I remember her hair flare doll of Yasmin, and she let me borrow it, which was so kind of her. So I literally borrowed her doll and took it home and like played with it. And then next time I saw her, I remember taking it back and being so sad to give it back to her because I wanted to have one of my own so much. She actually had two of the same doll as well. So I was super jealous of her. Imagine having two of your favorite. You know what? Now that I'm an adult and I have adult money, sometimes I do have two of my favorite doll. Who's gonna stop me if I want to have one in box and one out of box? But at that time, I was so envious of my friend in a good way. I wasn't like feeling negative towards her. She was my friend, obviously. But yeah, she had two of this doll. She was so lucky. And she also had a bunch of the original Bratz babies as well, the ones with like the plastic hair that fits into their like head. She had I think I don't remember all of them, but I want to say that she definitely had Sasha. She definitely had Fianna, because Fianna was my sister's favorite, and we were introduced to Fianna through this friend. So she at least had those two. And I really love, if you watched my other video about this, the other podcast episode where I'm talking about Barbie, especially Barbie movies, I really appreciate when dolls are wearing like the same thing but different. Just like everyone's wearing the same outfit but in their own color scheme. And the Bratz babies really tie into this. All the Bratz babies, especially the core four, but even the other ones that they came out with after this, like Megan and Fianna, they've re-released these since, but I just think it's so cute how they all have their own color schemes. They all have their pet on their shirt. I love that they come with their pet in a flocked design. I think that's so cute. The pets, another thing that really drew me into the Bratz babies, of course, because I'm also a Littlest Pet Shop fan, and like these like the Bratz version of Littlest Pet Shops. Like everything is working out. Sorry, I have like one piece of fluff down my shirt and it's like annoying me, but I can't find it. It's like tickling me on the inside of my jumper, or my hoodie, I should say. It's driving me nuts. I think I pulled it out. I think it was that hair that was annoying me. It's like tickling my in the inside of my shirt. Anyway, yeah, so the flocked pets were like also such a draw. They were like making me so interested in them. I loved the like tactile aspect of the dolls having the hair that's like popped in and out of their heads. I thought that was really cool. And the actual Bratz babies have such a like, you know, slay face. They're so snatched looking, and they have these big lips and really exaggerated eyes. I really love the style that Bratz are, especially those early 2000s ones. The exaggerated styles are really iconic. I feel like the more modern Bratz, we'll get into the more modern Bratz, but I feel like they're kind of starting to have their own style, which I kind of like. But yeah, I love that OG Bratz babies look. Actually, I remember one more Bratz doll that my sister had. She's so lucky. How come she got all the Bratz? Because now we're older, she doesn't have any dolls. She might have actually... I gave her one Fianna doll as a gift because Fianna was her favorite Bratz baby as a kid. So I got her a Bratz baby's Fianna as like a gift. So I think she still has that. But I think our dog chewed its hair. Brandy. Naughty Brandy. Anyway, yeah, she actually had an itty bitty Bratz of Dana. And it was the... I can't even remember now. It was like a rock and rollin' bed set. So Dana came with this like blinged out, bedazzled plush bed. At least it's so luxe in my memory. It's a circular bed that rotates. The actual mattress is pink, the rotating part. And then there is a purple bed, and hanging over the bed is a literal disco ball that rotates also. So you put her on the bed and it rotates. And I think that her hair pieces, like the two little pigtails, also came out. And so you had all these detachable pieces, as well as Dana herself being so cute and small, and also the bed, which was so cool. We played with that so much. I think we also played with that doll with the other Bratz dolls that we had. So we have, you know, 2 full-size Bratz dolls, 1 Bratz baby, and 1 itty bitty baby. And they were just like, everyone's a family. That was probably our little Bratz family. But yeah, loved those guys so much. We would probably play with them with our other dolls as well, like other toys. So I'd use the Bratz with My Little Ponies, we'd use the Bratz with the Littlest Pet Shops at times. Not so much the adult Bratz, maybe more like the Bratz baby and the itty bitty Bratz, sorry. Those would work better with like the smaller scale toys. But yeah, we're huge fans of those. And even though my sister doesn't really collect dolls now, she obviously only has one, if any. I was really influenced by these Bratz dolls that we were exposed to in our childhood. I knew of the movies, and I knew of like other Bratz media because other friends at school, they would have like Bratz blankets on their beds. When I went to their houses for a sleepover, I'd see their like Bratz, I don't know, posters on their wall. Or we were gifted a clock once. Again, my sister was gifted a Bratz clock. So our bedroom had a Bratz clock, which was so iconic. So I saw like Bratz in stores and Bratz at friends' houses and Bratz in media. But I didn't really watch any of it myself. I never had like Bratz movies growing up. And I still haven't watched the Bratz movies, which is kind of wild because I'm such a Bratz girl that, like, I just love the vibe of Bratz. And so it's kind of surprising that I don't have, like, I haven't spent the time to watch all the movies. I think that the movies, in hindsight, will be absolutely crazy. Like, the clips that I see online from the movies, the vibes are, like, off the charts. I think it's going to be really, really funny to watch them, especially as like a 25-year-old, and seeing what the like plots are. And like, yeah, I think there was also a live action movie which looks really fun as well, but yeah, again, I haven't really watched it. So yeah, I've seen little clips of them here and there, but that's something I'm yet to explore, is Bratz Media. I know they also came out with, this is like so many side plots, they also had like Nintendo games. Oh, you know what I do love? Ooh, you almost fell over there. I love the Bratz soundtracks. That's something I started enjoying once I started collecting Bratz as like a teenager, was the Bratz music. Bratz Forever Diamonds. It's just such a banger. They had so many good albums, so many good songs. I think that they put an incredible amount of effort into the Bratz music to make it like stunner. And so I'm actually really into all of their albums. There are no misses. They're all hits. But the Bratz Rock Angels and Bratz Forever Diamonds are just like top tier, top tier. What else do I want to talk about with OG Bratz before I get into the more modern releases and my modern recollecting of them? I would like to discuss some of my favorite lines from the 2000s. Okay, so Tokyo Go-Go, I think, is one of the most detailed lines they've come up with. It's one of the most out there concepts, I believe, from the OG Bratz, and I'm totally going to forget some like really like pivotal lines that Bratz came out with, I'm sure. But Tokyo Go-Go just is such like an out there style that I'm also into. Not every doll concept that doll lines come out with is a concept that appeals to me. For example, there aren't that many misses with Bratz, to be honest, but oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of an example. The way that there's quite a few lines from Monster High that I'm like, that's cool, but I'm not really interested. There's not that many lines from Bratz, and I'm like, oh, that's a flop. I literally can't even think of an example. Bratz is so good. I love Bratz. Let me list off a few other favorites. I love a sports theme, and so I love all the Bratz sports or like play sports lines, especially the cheer lines. Obviously I collect those, but also the tennis ones are really, really cute, and the soccer ones, love it. Same but different. They're all wearing the same outfit in slightly different colorways. Absolutely obsessed with that. The figure skating dolls, so cute. These ones kind of speak to me more because they're kind of aesthetics that appeal to me more. I love a slumber party doll. I love a sports doll. I love Tokyo fashion. So Japanese inspired dolls also always appeal to me. And I love the screenings of Tokyo Go-Go dolls as well, with that like more anime inspired eye look and stuff. I think those are really gorgeous. Again, going into the slumber party dolls, I think the sleepover dolls always hit, especially in those OG 2000s line in the early 2000s. The slumber party dolls that they came out with, that they recently re-released, the ones that come with a little plush of their corresponding pet, so cute. The robe, the fluffy slippers, the cozy looking pants. I would totally wear that outfit. You know me, I love a cozy PJ set, so I love a good slumber party line. Those always hit for me. The only thing that stops me from honestly buying all these re-releases they've done from lines that I actually enjoy, or even going back to collect them from their existing releases, like their prior releases, is space and money. There are so many Bratz that I love the look of and that I would honestly enjoy collecting. I'm certain of it. But I just don't have endless space to fill my entire house with Bratz, because if you see my house, I have a lot of toys going on. Like, there is so many stuffed animals and dolls at my house. There is no way I could collect every single line from Bratz that I like the look of, because there are so many. Bratz rarely misses, in my opinion, especially in the OG days. So many good lines. But yeah, I would say that the ones that I can think of that come to mind are those ones. And also, what's it called, that retro line? Flashback Fever, where there's like the 80s inspired doll. You got the Yasmin in like the hippie outfit. You got that really mod looking Jade, the really 80s looking Chloe, and then is she 80s? I can't remember. I feel like Sasha's the 80s one, and then Chloe's like, I feel like she's in denim. Don't quote me on that. But that's a really iconic one as well, because I love that they're all like different time periods in like more modern fashion. I think that's such an iconic line, and I think that they chose the corresponding years to each of those like characters so well, because like, you know, Yasmin really does suit the like retro rainbow crop top roller skating vibes that she's giving. Fianna in her like hippie kind of outfit. I'm kind of getting a bit confused with the names of them. Oh my goodness, I meant Fianna is in the hippie outfit. but she kind of looks like Yasmin in this line because she's like tan and they have similar color hairdos sometimes. But that Yasmin's like very distinct looking. She's the one with bangs, isn't she? I love that Yasmin's eyeshadow. Oh my goodness. The rainbow eyeshadow on that Yasmin is gorgeous. Anyway, yeah, I love that Flashback Fever line, essentially. I just love a little decades moment. It's so iconic. Oh, there's so many good Bratz lines from the OG releases. Forever Diamonds, obviously. Bratz Rock Angels. Dynamite. That's such a hot line. The way they're like vroom, vroom on their motorbikes. So cute. Love them so much. Guys, I just remembered. So I just talked about all the Mattel dolls in my previous video. And I didn't even discuss my scene. I guess I will do a discussion of my scene at the end of this video, or if this video gets too long, I will make another podcast discussing my scene. Oopsie. Probably I'll have to, because I can already see that I'm already yapping for 20 minutes and I've barely discussed the beginning of Bratz, or like my beginning understanding of Bratz. Let's talk about Bratz Pixies, because that's also interesting because they're re-releasing them right now, but redesigned. I love the redesign. I do think that there's something really iconic about the original release, the way they've got the long sleeves layered over the pants. It's just like the OG vibes are really cute. The crop tops that they come with, like I'm talking about the layered look that they wear in the movie. And then I also like that the butterfly tops they're wearing in the doll forms are cute as well. But I do also wish they'd released their movie versions. However, their 2025 redesign of these dolls is so incredible. These dolls look so good. The ring that is the wings that doubles as the wearable ring is such a cute accessory. The design of them is so modern and so current, yet referencing prior Bratz. I just think it was absolutely genius design. One of the best releases they've done, honestly. Like that's a new design. Because they do come out with quite a few new designs recently. Sorry, that was really poorly worded. They've come out with heaps of new designs recently. However, none of them really have slapped the way that those OG releases have until recently. I really feel like they've started to find their feet and started to find their own kind of ground of like design and find their own style as modern Bratz, and I think it's really fun to see that. I feel like it's inspired so heavily by modern repaint artists, and I love to see that the community is getting this kind of recognition, or at least the repaint community is getting the recognition it deserves, and key artists are getting spotlighted in that way. Let's talk about yeah, the return of Bratz. So obviously, well, maybe not obviously, I don't know what you know. Who knows? In the 2010s, Bratz kind of went downhill a bit until we had the yucky 2015 Bratz and 2016 Bratz that everyone wasn't liking. Then we had the Hayden Williams Bratz that, honestly, they've aged well. I don't love them. They're not my favorite ever, but they've aged well. They're nice. Then we had some re-releases of the OG Bratz for the 20th anniversary. And 20th anniversary, I feel like, is when Bratz's rebirth really kicked off, because there was a little bit of interest in, like, I think it was 2018 when those Hayden Williams dolls came out. However, it wasn't like wow the way that it was in 2020 when those repros of the OG 2001 dolls hit the shelves. COVID, it all skyrocketed, and I just feel like Bratz has just been on an up ever since. I've loved seeing the growth in the doll community. I've been collecting from Facebook Marketplace and, like, you know, in the doll space for a while, but I really have seen so many of my friends, independently of me, hopping onto the doll bandwagon, and so many people have messaged me from my personal life without me even reaching out to them and saying something like, hey, I know you collect dolls, I was wondering XYZ. And I've been able to have so many exciting, like, connections and friendships through dolls. Like, so many people, I feel like dolls, you know, not only are you collecting the dolls for, like, the aesthetics, the nostalgia, the fashion, the enjoyment of just collecting, but also community. And I love that it's brought together so many of my friends to talk about dolls, because yeah, I love when people message me and ask me a question about dolls, or ask me what I think about a doll, or if I know what's coming up with the next release, or I don't know, something like that. So it really warms my heart when, like, someone thinks of me when they think of Bratz and goes, I'll pop up to Emily and ask her about it, because I'm just like, I'd love to answer your question and yap to you about dolls all day and night, because that's what I like to do. But anyway, yeah, I feel like also out of people my age, like my peers that are similar age group to me, Bratz are kind of like the cooler doll to collect. I do know some friends that collect Monster High. However, out of my people that I know that are my age, that I know in real life, exterior to the doll community. Most of the people that I know that are into dolls are Bratz doll collectors. I do know that some of them then go from, it seems to be like this. They're interested in Bratz first, and then I might mention Monster High, or through the doll collecting world, they see Monster High, and then they end up getting interested in Monster High as well. And that's kind of the depth of the collecting of my personal friends. But then again, these are my friends that are just like friends from my regular life that happen to also collect dolls, not specifically doll friends. I hope that makes sense. Doll friends is like someone that I'd meet online more and we connect over dolls, whereas I'm referring to friends that I have in real life who are like, oh, by the way, Emily, I actually have a Bratz doll or two. And I'm like, tell me more. And then we talk more, and later on they collect more, and then later on they get into Monster High potentially. Anyway, I just think that for people my age, Bratz seem to be more nostalgic, obviously, and a little bit more fashionable, because obviously Barbie's not really pumping out the fashion right now, and Bratz is kind of giving that like fashion element there. So it's kind of like they're trendy and they're fashionable and they're nostalgic. They really tie into a lot of things, especially for people my age. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the re-releases. I love that they've come out with Bratz Babies re-releases. That brings me so much joy, because I was hoping that they would do that, because I'm such a fan of those. I really hope they do some more re-releases of some more iconic lines. Obviously, some of them are better than others. Like the Bratz Rock Angels really flopped for me, which was, you know, very disappointing, because obviously the Rock Angels are a really cute line originally. And I just don't really like the way that the repros look. But then, you know, you have some really good repros. For example, I think that they did a good job with the Funk Out dolls. I think those look really good. So, you know, hit or miss, but that's on you, MGA. Make them have nice screenings and we'll be more happy about it. But what I'm most excited about is Bratz Babies re-releases. The potential of Tokyo A Go-Go being re-released. You know what I also used to really love? Is those Bratz World Series where they were in the kimonos. Those were absolutely gorgeous. I never owned one, but I always frothed over those online. The other thing I enjoyed that they come out with these days is unique modern designs that are designed in 2025 for 2025. So these are not re-releases. These are coming up with new ideas and concepts of our OG characters, or I'm even open to new characters, and reimagining them in a modern light. And I just think that's so, so exciting. My most recent doll that I have just behind me, actually, that I'm yet to unbox on this channel is the Bratziversary Jade. I'm so excited about that doll. I really am excited to see more dolls like her coming out that are new takes on familiar characters. I think that the Bratziversary Jade is really cool in that she's blonde, and I love her screening. It's a very modern screening. I think that the screenings that they're coming out with for the 2025 dolls are very distinctly 2025, in that they also tie into the OG releases like style, but also the way that repainters have been doing it, and those one-of-a-kind artists have been repainting those Bratz eyes. It's a very like snatched look in a way that it wasn't in the OG dolls. They kind of had a more like printed, almost like simpler look in the OG dolls, whereas the repaint artists had this really like iconic and identifiable snatch of the eyes. And I really like seeing that in the newer dolls that are coming out, especially the fairies that are coming out. Fairies, I think they're called like fashion pixies or something. Those ones that are coming out soon, and also this recent Jade, and also the recent Jean Paul I don't really know how to pronounce this designer's name. Jean Paul Gaultier. That Sasha, again, the screening, really, really gorgeous. I'm loving all of these new designer dolls that are coming out from Bratz as well. So the collaborations that they're doing with all these fashion designers, like Mo Lola, I hope I'm saying that correctly, GCDS, they're just really popping out with Cult Gaia, you know, so many fashion collabs. I think it's a really, really fun direction for the brand. More recently, there was also Gentle Monster, which was super, super viral, and so many influencers were getting in on this, which not only like hypes the actual brand of like, you know, Gentle Monster in that case, but also Bratz and like the doll community as well, which I love to see. I don't love the price point that some of these designer dolls are though. However, you know what? They are a collaboration with a high-end designer. And so you're going to get that high-end designer price point, and there are always going to be Playline dolls marketed towards people like me. I'm a Playline collector, so, you know, there'll be Playline dolls that I will reach for, and there'll be Playline collector dolls like, the jade that I just picked up, the Bratzversary jade. That's more of like a Playline collector. It's not a collaboration with a designer or a like high-end artist in that way that's going to boost that price point lots, because it's not got that extra licensing and all that collaboration process. But yeah, there will always be dolls for me, so it's just really exciting that they're coming out with these designs, and like I just love the creativity and seeing the artistry and them coming up with these concepts and stuff. Oh my gosh, it is pouring with rain outside here. I'm going to go to bed in a little bit and rest, because I'm going to work tonight, and I want to have a good rest before work. So excited to sleep in the rain. This is a side plot, but if anyone else knows, all the nurses at my college, let me start again. All the other nurses at my workplace, we love to sleep in the rain. A rainy day is the best kind of day to sleep through something, but it's so cozy. So the best night shift is like night shifts while it's raining, so yippee. Anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about the dolls that they're coming out with at the moment, and I'm really excited about what their upcoming dolls are going to be. I'm really keen to see the upcoming Sanrio collaboration with the 3 Hello Kitty dolls. I don't really feel like the Chloe leak is that exciting. So they've leaked a not Sasha. They've leaked literally everyone but Sasha. There's no Sasha in this line. So it's a Chloe, a Yasmin, and a Jade. And the Yasmin and the Jade look really, really pretty in my opinion. I love their outfits. They're outfits that I'd actually wear. They look really funky and cute. The Chloe does not do it for me. It's very unfortunate, but yes, I will not be picking up that Chloe. I will try and get my hands on the Yasmin and the Jade. It depends on the price point and the accessibility though, because I'm not too sure how that's going to go. A lot of the Bratz releases recently have been very hectic. Throwback to Mean Girls. I really, really wanted the Mean Girls release. No way. Mean Girls release was so hectic. What an absolute nightmare trying to get Katie. It just did not happen for me. Recently they've done the what's it called, the Clueless releases, and those seem to have gone a little bit better, but yeah, not for me. The Clueless screenings, they're pretty, but they're not for me. I don't know, they just don't really like click for me in the same way as I want a Bratz screening to click. So yeah, the Clueless dolls don't really do it for me, although I will say the Clueless dolls are way better than the Barbie Clueless dolls that came out, and I do think that they look nice. I do think that they're pretty dolls. I like the outfits. I do think Cher and Dion are the strongest out of the Clueless dolls that Bratz came out with, quite obviously so. But I actually think that Cher looks better than Dion, which I wasn't expecting. I thought that Dion would look better just because I think that she has more contrast in her outfit, in my opinion. I don't know. I just feel like it's quite iconic. And I felt like it was quite risky with Cher that she'd be quite washed out with the way that Bratz often does a yellowy blonde. However, upon seeing them and their actual faces, the shape of the screening for Cher, it kind of gives her this like cheeky expression. She's not for me, but I do think that they're quite creative in the way that they were kind of pushing the envelope with her screening there. And I also really love the lip shade they chose for Cher. I really feel like that pink lip really pulled it all together. She's got this classic, you know, blue eyes, blonde, pink lips. It just really... It's a very classic look, and I think it's really, really pretty on that Cher Bratz doll. Anyway, what else is coming up from Bratz upcoming? The Christmas dolls look cheap. They're kind of budget looking Christmas. I think they might have a like more high-end Christmas doll coming up in future, but I haven't really looked into that. Something else I want to talk about really briefly is Felicia. I love that Felicia is becoming less scalped. Like, the hype around Felicia when I was originally buying dolls on Facebook Marketplace was crazy. People were selling her for thousands of dollars. And I love that she's become accessible now. I own 2 Felicias, which is really, really exciting. The first Felicia was actually the Cult Gaia collaboration 20th anniversary Felicia, and I think she's beautiful. Yellow is my favorite color, so I love that she's wearing a yellow dress. I love that it's Felicia because that's that's a doll that I thought I would never get my hands on, and it's a really pretty Felicia. I love that she comes with a Bratz bracelet, even though she stays in box for me, because as you may know, I collect Bratz that are mostly out of box. However, if I believe that a doll looks better in box, I will leave them in the box, and she's a doll that I just think needs to stay in the box. She's, the way that the gown is laid out, it's gorgeous. She's got to stay in there. But my other Felicia is the Playline series Felicia that they released, Campfire Felicia, and I redressed her, and I love having her out of box. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. So I love having a Felicia in box and a Felicia to play with. And that's something that I never thought would happen with Bratz, because Felicia's such a rare character and she's so expensive, or at least her OG releases are, but I'm so grateful that her re-release has a pretty screening, because her re-release's face, mwah, absolutely gorgeous. What else do I want to talk about with Bratz? I feel like that's really it. I'm excited about the future of Bratz. I'm hoping for more Bratz babies. I'd love a Bratz baby of Felicia to be released, because they had a big Bratz baby of Felicia originally. However, I'd love like an OG size of Felicia, and not the one that they came out that was like that little magazine inspired one. She has like the hard hair. I want a more 2000s style one. These Bratz babies that they've come out with recently, they're cute, they're fine, but they're not doing it for me. I thought that I would like Felicia, and I thought she would grow on me, but honestly, she hasn't grown on me. I thought I would end up liking her more, but I don't know, she's fine. She's cute, she's pretty. Maybe if I saw her in person, I'd feel differently, but just looking at her online, I haven't been like, yes, you know what, I really need to buy that glam gecko. But if I saw her in real life, who knows? But yeah, I'd really like a more 2000s style release of Felicia as a baby. I think that would be really fun. What else? I feel quite satisfied that they released the Bratz Babies twins. I'd love to see more babies twins released and babies triplets. I just love the Bratz babies. Something about the Bratz babies really does it for me. They're so cute, they're so collectible. I just love the size, the aesthetics, because you capture all the aesthetics of a big Bratz doll, but even cuter in my opinion, because they're like little versions, like minis. And I love the outfits that they wear. They're just so cute with the little, everything's a crop top and a mini skirt, you know what I mean? I just love the vibes, especially the OG, like the twins that they came out with. I think there were 2 or 3 sets of twins and all of them were just so strong. I love them. They're so pretty. The color schemes were gorgeous. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about Bratz. I don't have much custom Bratz in my life. I have 2 dolls that we actually picked up from beside the road because someone had thrown them out, and so I picked them up and tidied them up. Well, my dad picked them up for me. Thanks, Dad. And we tidied them up. I tidied them up and I sewed them little outfits. Those are kind of like the only custom Bratz I have. I don't really have many like one-of-a-kind Bratz dolls, and I'm not really a repainter. I could do a reroute, but I don't really feel the need to, because Bratz come out with so many different dolls with so many different hair colors that you can find something for everyone. I will talk about also Bratzillas, which was Bratz's response to Monster High's popularity, which are a more gothic take on your traditional Bratz with the kind of witch theme. What on earth, man? Those were crazy. I kind of love-hate the inset eyes. I actually remember these being in stores when I was in high school, and remembering that they weren't really hitting for me in real life. I do like the concept. I love the outfits, the designs, the themes. I do think it was really wackadoodle and fun of them. I don't love that it was just created to piggyback off Monster High and compete with Monster High, but you know, I get it. They did the same with my scene, you know, it is what it is, but I would have preferred if they'd kind of done their own thing. Fianna is the most interesting to me out of that line. I just think that Fianna, I don't know, man, she's just really cute, and like with the like mermaid theme of Fianna there, I love a good mermaid theme, and they didn't really come out with that many mermaid themed Bratz. That's what I want. MGA, if you are listening, I want mermaid Bratz. I want mermaid themed Bratz lines, and I want them yesterday. Please, please, please. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about those Bratz. Not really. Let's talk about more recent Bratz media then. I wanted to discuss the webisodes that they came out with that were, I think, in the 2015-16 era. This is when Raya was a character. They were cute, they were silly, they were goofy. I'm not obsessed with them. I don't love them in the same way that I love like Barbie Life in the Dream House or like the Monster High episodes. I honestly think they did a better job with those webisodes. However, I still enjoyed them. They were cute and fun. I honestly enjoyed the Bratzilla's webisodes actually more than the Bratz like selfies kind of era. Yeah, the Bratzillas, I liked the animation style more, and I liked the storylines more, and it was all spooky and cute, and it was a little bit more in the same vein as like the kind of stuff that Monster High was coming out with at that time. So I just think that that was the better webisode media that they came out with. There was this unreleased line that Bratz never came out with that was kind of like fairy tale inspired, and I think they were supposed to have like fairy tale themed dolls that were never released. There was a leaked trailer about it, and those concepts, I wish they were real. There's so many good Bratz concepts that weren't released. Like I saw a sailor themed Yasmin doll. Guys, I wish. The costume dolls that Bratz used to do in the 2000s were also really good. Another love from them is like all that sailor theme, all the costume lines, the Halloween theme lines, but that sailor Yasmin that I saw, I was like, dang, that is a cute outfit. Talking about more modern Bratz media, I really like what they're doing with TikTok. I think it's really smart of them to tie into a more modern audience and appeal to the current market in that way. I think it's like very on brand with Bratz as like a company. I also think that it's very in the same vein with like the kind of dolls they're coming out with and the other media that they've come out with previously. It just makes sense for them as a company. And so I really am enjoying the like little cute TikToks they're making, like the little skits of like the dolls all talking, what's it called? Talking Bratz. I think it's cute. The other thing I want to talk about is celebrity dolls. I liked the Kylie dolls. Controversial. I know not everyone liked them, but I liked them. The other doll that they came out with, Carol G, I don't know her. She was a pretty doll, but she didn't really capture my attention. You know what? I'm not totally closed off of her. Like if she was a doll that I liked, regardless of who the celebrity is based on, I may have picked her up. However, I just couldn't get behind her enough to pick up that doll. It just didn't really, she never really stood a chance. She was never going to appeal to me that much. But yeah, upcoming Bratz dolls kind of excite me. I'm excited to see what the future holds for Bratz. I'm excited to try and get my hands on those Sanrio Bratz. And I'm keen to see what they come out with in future. I'm keen to see those fashion fairies, pixies in stores because I might buy them. I don't think I'm going to buy them online, but if I see them in stores, watch me slip. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here because I'm actually getting quite tired and I want to go to bed. So I hope you enjoyed this little rant about Bratz. I'm going to come back and rant about Lalaloopsy, Rainbow High, Mycene, all these other kind of, and Novi Stars, I guess these four. I'll try and talk about that in my next podcast episode just because this is already 40 something minutes long and I'm getting quite tired and that's a lot of dolls to discuss. It's more than enough dolls for another episode. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see pictures of my Bratz dolls, I've posted some on Flickr. That's one of my favorite doll platforms. Oh my gosh, one more thing I want to say before I go is I think that Bratz freestyles are some of the best freestyles because Bratz pulls in like the audience that is probably similar to my age the most. I just think that the people that are coming up with the outfits are so creative. I love, if you just type in Bratz dolls on Pinterest, the Pinterest reposts of the Bratz outfits are crazy. I follow so many doll restylers and doll like one-of-a-kind repaint artists on Instagram, and I just love seeing the creative concepts they come out with. I'm like a hyper femme kind of aesthetic. I love like a super girly, almost like bimbo aesthetic, and I love seeing all the like restyles, especially of there's this summer line that they came out with. It's like spring break and there's a Chloe and there's also a Sasha in that line, that is, and there's a Jade in that line as well. Those are such gorgeous dolls. That Chloe restyled always looks good. But yeah, I love seeing all the restyles and I try and restyle myself. I've done like, I think I have 2 or 3 dolls that I've restyled, but I don't know, man. There are some really gorgeous restyles out there and it requires a lot of like skill in gathering all those different clothing items and pairing them cutely and stuff like that. Yeah, I just really appreciate a good restyle repost on Pinterest. Yeah, anyway, you can follow my doll board on Pinterest if you're interested as well, because I do reshare dolls there, and I also reshare dolls on my Instagram as well. You can follow me everywhere. It's at EmilyTitch20. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to see or hear more from me. And yeah, happy collecting. Tell me about your favorite dolls that you had growing up. Tell me about your Bratz that you think are the most iconic, ones that you have in your collection, ones that you'd like to collect. Let me know. There are so many Bratz. I'm 100% certain that I'm forgetting so many iconic lines, because there just are that many iconic Bratz lines. Yeah, I love Bratz so much. So many good lines. I love scrolling through the Bratz Wikipedia and seeing all their different icons and seeing all their different pets and their nicknames. It brings me so much joy, especially when they're all in their Bratz Babies form and they're same but different. Anyway, I better go and head off to bed, but I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Sorry, I'm like, a bit tired in this episode, but that's life. Toodles.